Thanks for joining me today for our second in our Crafting with Wood projects, this Glam Pumpkin sign. Okay, so these are the supplies we're going to need. Some wood glue, some paints of whatever colors that you want to paint it, leftover ribbons and embellishments, and a few of the tumbling tower blocks, because we're going to use those to make the base to stand our sign up. And you'll need some paint stir sticks. Now I'm using regular paint stir sticks. You can use the 5-gallon paint stir sticks if you want, and the measurements will be the same. It'll be just a little bit larger than in width than how I'm doing it. Okay, so what I do is to cut down my pieces. I stack them and I wrap them in like painter's tape, or you can use Scotch tape. And then I will mark it at the measurements that I need. And I'm going to give you those measurements, the description below, so you can refer back to them if you need to. So the first measurement, the longest one, you'll need 3 8.5-inch cut. So you'll just go in and you'll measure up to 8.5, mark it, and then I use this box saw, miter saw, to cut them. And then if you don't have a box saw, you can use the miter shears or just a regular saw if that's all you have to cut them down. And then I cut 2 more at 7 inches and the other 2 at 6 inches. And then we'll put it all together. You will need a couple of these craft sticks as well to secure the pieces when you put them together. Okay, so I start with my 3 longest sticks, and I'm showing you the side that's got a few flaws on it because this is the side I'm gonna it's gonna be the back. So I just put the 3 together here, and then the next 2 longest pieces, let's see, and I take them and I put it down, measure about 3/4 of an inch down from the top of the top here. Okay, and then the 2 shortest pieces, I will measure down about 1/2 of an inch from the second ones. So if you look, then you'll look and make sure that it's all about the same on the bottom as well. And it'll give you a round sort of shape in order to make our pumpkin. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I cut down these craft sticks, and I had one of the really giant ones. I'm going to use that one right in the middle so that it covers the entire thing. And then this one on top, I want to make sure I'm covering the seam there. And then another one here on the bottom, covering the seams. And I will glue them down with wood glue and then wait for it to dry. And then we'll flip it over and see how the front looks. Okay, I've glued these 2 down, and you can see where there's a gap right here You're going to have to put, I just want to let you know that once you glue them on here, you're going to have to put something heavy on top of it, so that it sticks to every piece, and, to let it dry that way. So, and then you make sure you put a generous amount of the glue so that it adheres well. Okay, and then I will put something really heavy on top. Okay, so here's my pumpkin all glued together, and you can see I glued them on the back. Now a little bit of the glue came through on the crack right here, but I just sanded it smooth, and it'll be all right. So now I'm going to paint it. I'm going to paint it white. I'm going to use this indoor outdoor gloss white that I have on hand from Apple Barrel, and I'm going to give it 1 or 2 coats of the white, and then we'll go from there. And I'm just going to paint this off camera so I can save time. Okay, so now I've painted it with the white paint, and now I'm going to kind of dry brush it a little bit with some orange, and uh, this orange is a little bit bright for me, so I'm going to mix it with a little bit of brown, just to give it a little bit of a darker color orange. You just need, like a couple drops maybe. Let's see. Just one little dollop will probably do it. So I just stir it together. And if it's a little bit too dark, you can go in and put a little bit more orange. I think I made it a little too dark. And really, I just want to kind of do like a dry brushing over it. I don't want to paint it all orange. And so what I'm going to do is kind of mimic how you have like the curves in your pumpkins. Just a little bit like that. You can make it as dark or as light. No, it doesn't look like much just yet, but it will. It helps to give it a little bit of like a movement. Now, if you wanted to, um, you could put like a vinyl um, words on it, or you can hand write any kind of wording that you'd like on it. Okay. Now, I'm really lately, the fall colors for the last few years have been really unique. I like how they use the blues. So I'm going to use this turquoise and squirt up just a little bit. Kind of mix it a little bit with my orange. Not so that it comes green, but yes, but just to give it a little bit of not so bright. I'm going to go in, just kind of put a little bit of that blue in there. You don't have to be any kind of like artist to do anything like this because I'm not. I'm definitely not an artist. I'm just kind of going with the flow. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to paint this is the top of a 5-gallon star stick. So it's a larger um, paint stick, but I like the curve of the top, and I'm going to use it to make my stem on the top. So I'm going to paint this brown, and then I'll show you what else I'm going to do to the pumpkin. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I've got this little Hello Autumn that I cut off of a piece of a ribbon, and I'm going to Mod Podge that right in the middle of my sign. So I'll just take a little bit of the Mod Podge, and I'm just going to generously put it right here in the middle. Put my little ribbon sign, and then I'll Mod Podge right over it. And I want to get the top part of the layer even, and it will dry clear, so you should be able to see the Hello Autumn once it's dry. Okay. And then you could, like I said, you could put some vinyl or you could handwrite a sign, whatever you want to put in want it to say. Okay. And I painted my stem. And I went in with a little bit of that turquoise and the orange on the stem as well, just to, make it match. And you won't see much of it anyway, because I'm going to have, a bow and stuff on the top around it. But what you can see, you'll be able to see a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to let this dry, and then we'll come back and do our embellishments. Okay, so I think it's dried well enough that I can keep going. So I'm going to, let's see, I want to embellish it with some ribbon, and I want to show you this ribbon. It's from the Dollar Tree, and it's the little diamond sparkled ribbon. Let's see, what do they call that? Yeah, the diamond wrap ribbon in turquoise. And so what I've done is I've cut it long ways into strips like this, and I'm going to glue it onto my pumpkin right where these curves are to mimic the curve. So I'm going to hot glue them all around here. And I'm going to use my small hot glue gun because that way I can get a more precise bead of glue in order to put this on here, because it's going to have to be a thin line. So I'm going to start in the middle by just putting a little bit of a line just to start it off. Throw my piece in the middle here, and then I'm going to attach it very carefully like that. Okay. And that way I can get it going without having to worry about that. Let's see. Just want to attach it where I can curve it. So I'll do it that way here. Okay. I was thinking that it would be more difficult if I try to do it all the way, but I think it's going to work out good. He's here. Okay. And if you have any left over here, I'm just going to cut that off. Okay, so I finished putting them around here, and then I decided to go ahead and put a heart around the Hello Autumn. So I wanted to show you how I did that. I did half of it, and I'm just going really slowly around, um, just like half inch or inch at a time, so that I'm able to curve it. And I'm just kind of like drawing a heart with my glue. I don't know if you can see this because my glue gun wire is not long enough for me um, to reach too far here. I'm gonna go close to this one, and then just kind of drawing the heart with the glue. And I'll take it back down towards this end. And just carefully kind of curving it with my finger. That. Okay. Now I will glue my stem onto the back. And I want to do it where it's a little bit slanted like this. I'm going to put a generous amount and make sure it doesn't come off. No, a little bit on this. Okay. Okay, and so now I'm going to make some bows to put on the stem. But before I do that, I'm going to go around the Hello Autumn with a little bit of this gold metallic. I just want to give it a little bit of embellishment. Just going to wipe off some of this brown from the other brush. This way, kind of make it show up a little. So now we can make our bows. And I wanted to show you that I made this pumpkin. Well, it's one of the Dollar Tree styrofoam pumpkins with the clip. And I just went over it with a little bit of the orange and the turquoise. And I'm going to use it on my bow whenever I put it all together. Okay, so I'm using some of the Dollar Tree ribbons. This is one of them. This is all I have left of these ribbons. But I'm going to use them on here. And some of my navy blue ribbon. That this one I got on Amazon, but it's the Ofray brand, so you can probably get this at Walmart. They have it on Walmart as well. Okay, and I have this emerald green wired uh, bow as well. I think I'm going to just put all these bows on here together. So the way I do this is I just kind of make a wellness ribbon, and this. And I've already done this one. Just kind of put them all together. And before I finish this off, I'm going to do this is a this navy blue is grow grain ribbon. So none of these right here are wired, but you know, if you do, they still work really well because it's not a really thick bow or anything. I'm going to put this one on top of the navy, and then I'll put that one on top of this one. Let's see. Kind of hard to do this with your hands on them occupied. Okay. Oops. Okay, and then I'll take a pipe cleaner, or you can use a floral wire. Well, before I do that, I'm going to pinch them all together. It'll be easier to. Put my floral wire around it. I'll just take it and squeeze them tight and twist the wire. And then attach. Before I do that, actually, I wanted to put another piece of this inside my bow, like just hanging. So I'm going to cut it into just one strand. I'll fold it in half and put it right there, one, and then attach the bow. And I'm squeezing it all together and twisting. Okay. And then you can arrange it um, to puff out your bow, and then let your strands of the jewel ribbon hang. And then I'll just take my pipe cleaner and wrap it around the stem here and twist it in around the back. This way you can secure it with some hot glue as well. You want to make sure it's secure. Or you can just leave it and cut it and then just use it. You know, you can change out the bow next year if you want to change up the colors or anything. Okay, so this is my sign. And you can make a little hanger for the back if you want to hang it up. Or you can just put it up against, you know, on a shelf in your wall. But before, since I'm not going to hang mine, I'm going to put it up on the shelf. I'm going to make a little stand for the back. I'll show you how I do that. Very simple, very quick. I just use some tumbling tower blocks like this. I'm going to glue two of them together. And you can use wood glue to glue them together. I'm just going to go ahead and use the hot glue. And then I'll hot glue it on the back. You want to make sure that this is even with the bottom edge of your stand, of the bottom of your sign. This way, when you go to stand it up, it's going to be straight. And just like that. And I'm going to put this on my shelf so you can see how it looks. Okay, so here it is with the pumpkin attached to it. If you prefer not to put the pumpkin, you can leave it off. And so this is it without the pumpkin. I think I prefer it without the pumpkin. I have it right next to the lantern that I made in our last video. So thanks for joining me today. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so you won't miss project number 3 in our wood crafting series this fall.